I don't know. Alright, so I'm just leaving the movie theater. I just saw Ant-Man. Fresh thoughts. And just so you guys know, when we do reviews on this channel, this is just my opinion. This is not me telling you what I think you should think. I'm not a movie critic. I'm just a guy. I mean, I have my opinion, you have yours. Don't really care what they are, but I just wanted to get that out the way real quick. So I get there, I sit down, I'm excited, I got my large drink, I got my large popcorn. Oh, and I didn't pay for that large drink or that large popcorn. I got it for free off the Regal app. But at least at my theater, a large drink and a large popcorn is $18. Who even needs a drink that big? Only way I'm taking a girl to the movies is if she's sneaking stuff in with her purse. And they trying to tell me romance is dead. And just so you guys are clear on where I'm at with the recent MCU phase, some of these dates are definitely wrong, but this is the best picture I could find with everything. I skipped a lot this phase. I don't know, maybe superhero fatigue. I'll get to it at some point. Phase 4 faced a lot of criticism from formulaic movies, boring generic TV shows. For this movie, I was actually pretty excited. This is the first film of Phase 5. It's gonna be a new looking Avengers. It's gonna be the big new bad guy. I thought this was gonna be the movie that reminded people just how good the MCU could be, but to me, fell a little flat. Should I do good or bad first? Some of the shots they had I thought was great. I mean, the quantum realm itself I thought looked amazing. Like the scene where it's like hundreds of Scotts I thought looked pretty good. When it comes to character design, I didn't have too many issues. I thought Kang looked badass. I thought some of the villagers they met later in the story looked cool and interesting. Some of the character looks at the end of the movie, not it. That's the thing, like with this movie, it's really hit or miss. It's like some aspects it looked really great and in others it's like, what are you doing? Like it was one scene earlier in the movie with bad CGI that literally made me laugh out loud. Also, take my opinion with a grain of salt. I mean, I'm talking as a guy that didn't grow up reading comic books. I wasn't a loser. I was out doing cool things like playing video games, playing football, trying to find out what cooties were. So when it comes to all this Kang stuff, I'm going into all of this blind and I actually like it like that. But from the research that I did do on Kang, I really want to see where this goes. But speaking of Kang, Jonathan Majors in this movie was absolutely incredible. I'm talking almost every scene that Kang was in, he stole the show. One thing about the movie that did annoy me was like for the first 40 minutes, every time they kept referring to Kang, they just kept referencing him as he or him. If you had any questions about his pronouns. All right, bad joke, but on a serious note, take a shot every time they say he or him when referring to him. Paul Rudd is obviously back as Ant-Man, and I always liked Paul. He seemed like a cool guy. Now the character of Scott Lang, like I like Ant-Man once he's featured in other Marvel movies, but when it comes to his solo stuff, I just don't care. Like I get it, he plays a major part in the overall story, but he's just a side character to me. He's like Trent Dilfer on that early 2000 Ravens team. The usual gang is all here. Hope, Janet, Hank, Cassie. Nothing against the actress. I thought her acting was pretty good. I thought the acting overall in the movie was pretty good. Her character just seemed like such an annoying Gen Zer. Am I getting old? I hated her character's role in this movie because I hate it in every movie. Like I hate when movies have like one character and they're like the protector of the innocent and younger character for the entire movie. We literally just saw this in Doctor Strange with America Chavez, Black Panther with the addition of Ironheart, and now we're here again with the older Cassie. The amount of times in this movie where Cassie yelled dad or Scott yelled Cassie, it just reminded me so much of how Disney fumbled John Boyega's character in Star Wars, where he was just yelling for a white woman for the last two movies.
Right! Where's Ray?
Ray! I can't leave her! This movie was plagued by the thing that also annoys me with almost every Marvel movie, when they have to crack a joke every 2 to 3 minutes. There was a couple of times in this movie where something serious was happening, but they had to stop and crack a joke. Like literally, it was a scene where a full-on battle was happening, and Scott and Cassie had stopped to crack a joke about throwing a punch for like 2 minutes. And I'm talking people around them are getting murdered and captured. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's one running joke throughout the movie about holes. Like one of them actually made me laugh, but then there was another one at the end of the movie that made me just go, what? Kang had the weakest security. I'm talking stormtroopers, James Bond bad guy villain. I know this is controversial, but MODOK, I actually like the character design. I mean, he was very jarring to like look at first, but I mean, he's meant to look ridiculous. Just like the random broccoli guy. I hope he get a Disney Plus show. They're giving everybody else one. But in the movie, they hype MODOK up like he's this savage killing character, and he had one character dead to rights. But nope. Stupidity and plot armor. Kang might as well just did everything by himself, because there was some scenes where Kang was like an absolute savage. I'm talking about they show him literally murdering people like it was nothing. Basically, the plot of the story is Kang gets stuck. Scott has technology that can help him. Kang forces Scott to help him, and here we are. It's not a spoiler, it's all in the trailers. The whole reason they even went to the quantum realm was stupid to me, and then Janet's character was even worse because she never even told them the things that she saw when she was down there. Like even once the story got really going, Janet's character was still trying to remain mysterious. Like we were full on in the quantum realm and she was still trying to hide information. feel like a nerd talking about this. The banter between the main characters was boring. The editing of the scenes just felt off sometimes. Like in one scene, Cassie told Scott to do something and then it just like randomly cut to a different group of characters for a few minutes and then it cut right back to Scott and Cassie in that same moment. And it's like in movies, when it's multiple characters, I get it, that happens. Like Infinity War, I feel like they did a good job of that. In this case, it just didn't feel right. On one hand, you have Kang, who's like this serious character, and then you have every other character in the movie who cracks jokes non-stop. I just feel like with this movie, they let Kang down. Like it was some scenes during the climax where Kang was like literally just standing there. It was like Game of Thrones Cersei vibes. You know, when she was like staring out the window for the whole season. At least from what I've been told, Kang the Conqueror is supposed to be this badass, and like he's supposed to be bigger and badder than Thanos, who he's gonna be getting compared to a lot. And I just feel like they failed to plant that flag in the ground that just let viewers know this is a new era. Like from what I've read, I feel like you're supposed to be terrified of this guy. Think about it. We started Infinity War with him killing Loki and beating the brakes off the Hulk. He gave him erectile dysfunction for an entire movie. Kang was struggling with Ant-Man, and you want me to believe he's gonna fight Wanda, Thor, Captain Marvel? He better hope he don't see Hawkeye and Daredevil in the alley. I can't say what I want to say because I don't want to spoil it, but the way this movie ended, I just don't like it right now. Like as a standalone movie, like it's hard because I know that this leads to other things, but like the ants in this movie, if you know, you know. I feel like this movie isn't going to be the big splash that people wanted it to be. At the end of the movie, it was just kind of like, damn, these last 2 hours was nothing but to set up for the next few movies. Once again, I don't read comics, but this movie was so stupid that at the end of the movie, Scott basically told the audience to suspend their disbelief and turn their brains off. Like we were watching some Fast and Furious movie. Even with all of that said, I'm still pretty excited for this phase. I mean, you got the introduction of the Fantastic Four, Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars, Blade, even though that's in production hell. I mean, it's still a lot to look forward to. Critically, if not the worst, I believe it's one of the worst rated MCU movies, and I'm pretty sure Disney was expecting more from it. I don't know if I really want to do scores with all of these reviews. I might just do it from time to time, but if I had to give it a score, I would probably give it like 6. I had a whole skit planned. I was so excited going into the movie. I spent money on props, and after leaving, I was just like, I'm good. Hey, you. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that generic YouTube stuff down below. But with this channel, I want to do more reviews. Like, I really want to do You Season 4, but I feel like I might as well just wait until the season is done. I believe when this video drops, Cocaine Bear comes out this coming Friday, I think. Once again, thank you guys for watching. I seriously appreciate it. But until that next time, see you in the next life. Every time they referred to Kang, they just cut. I always wanted to go to Madison Square Garden. Like when it's. Oh no! Slap it the bitch.